Hey, what's up YouTube? Back for another video. In this one, we're going to learn about events and how to handle them. And basically, we're going to learn all the code, what each piece of code means, and you'll see how it works in action. Basically, an event is, say you click a button, something happens. You press enter, something happens. You click a radio button, or you type something in the text field, you click something with your mouse, something happens. So basically, an event is you do something and something is going to happen as a result of that action. So obviously these are very important because you can't have a functional program without events, because you can't just have a program with a bunch of text on the field, and without events you can't interact with it. So alright, enough of me talking. First of all, you're going to need to import a few things. So import Alright, if you didn't get those, pause your screen because I'm going to close them right now. So then we need to extends JFrame as usual. The first part of this program is not going to be any different than our last program that we made. The last couple, I guess. So I think for this one we're just going to make a start off with an empty text label, and then we click a button, the label is actually going to say something. So private j label private j button. Very simple to remember. And by the way, I think I haven't told you guys this yet, but you can name these anything as you want. They don't just have to be called label. You could call it like rat, or I don't know, something. It doesn't matter. That just because it says label doesn't mean you have to name it label. You can name it anything you want, but I just name it label just because it's easy to remember what it does or what it is. Alright, now we need the constructor because we're only having two variables or two objects, so public. Alright, that's the constructor. Remember, you just name it whatever your class is named. So mine happens to be called events. Just name it events. Empty parameters, and then curly braces. And this is where our program actually starts to take shape. So set layout, new flow. And by the way, in a couple of tutorials I'm going to teach you about layouts, so for now we're just going to stick with the default one. Alright, now label is equal to new j label. Whoops. And yeah, we're going to leave it empty because when we start the program we want the label to actually not say anything. Actually, I'm going to put the button on top of the label, so just button equals new j button, and inside the button we're going to say click for text. And when we click that button, the j label below us is actually going to appear, text is going to appear in it. So add button. Go back to our label we had here and just add the label. Alright, now this is where things get different from the last few tutorials. What we're going to do now is we're going to tell Java that we're going to make a new subclass inside of our main events class. And this class is basically going to have the action performed method in it. And inside that action performed method we're going to tell our button what to do when we click it. So here's how you do this. You type in, you can name this class anything you want, but I'm just going to name it event, and then you have to name your object. I'm just going to call it E equals new event, just like that. Now it's giving us errors because we haven't made the class called event, but we're about to. And now all you do is you say button dot add action listener right there, and inside that you put whatever you named your object right here. I named mine E, so I put E. If you named it Robert, I don't know why you would, but you'd put Robert, And also you can name this class anything you want, but it's probably best just to name it what I named, just so you don't get confused later on. Alright, now we're done with our constructor, so go outside of it. You can tell that by the curly brace here. I usually go down a couple lines to make it easy to read. Now, type in I think public class event, and now we're gonna need to implement action listener thing. Yeah. Alright, yep. And what this does is it lets us basically, we have to override the action listener method, and there's only one, and it's called action performed. And oh, by the way, what we did up here is when we added an action listener to the button, we basically made it so it's listening for us to do something. In this case, we're just gonna click it. So public class event implements action listener. And now we have to write a method in here. So public void. It's not gonna return anything, so it's a void. And then this one is called action with a little a, undercase, and performed with a big P, formed. And then inside the parameters, you have to write action event, and then you can write whatever you want. I just call it E, just for simplicity's sake. And then, see that? The error went away. Because now we're actually going to tell our button to do something. In this case, we want our label to say words. Say words when we click the button. So we're going to say label dot, and then set text. And then inside the set text, you want it to say whatever you want. So I mean, I guess we can have it be, now you can see words here. Alright. Now, that's all we gotta do for this one, because this is a very simple one, so we only need actually one line of code. So we're done with that. Now go and write your main method. And then you should know how to do this by now. So events GUI equals new events. And set it visible. Alright, it's done. Run this thing. Now, we have a button that says click for text. We click it, and it says, now you can see words here. And we can modify this, so, we could modify this label.setText, this action performed method, so actually when we click it again, the words would disappear or something like that, but I'll get into that in a couple more tutorials. So for now, just study this code, try to remember it, and that's all it does. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again for the next one.